So then there's one big question here. Like, can the Steelers fix it this season, or do you have to just clean house with Matt Canada and fix your offensive line, and then you take it from there? Or, the expectations coming to the season were Super Bowl or bust, playoff run or bust. Like, that's how high this team. I mean, Kenny said it himself. I said that on Wednesday and Monday, and here we are 2 games in, and they win this week. Like, they're still, especially what happens with Baltimore, like they're in prime position to go into the bye week leaders of the AFC North. Like, that's ridiculous for a team that we're sitting here talking about. They just won, but they're so incompetent that fans are starting petitions to get rid of their offensive coordinator. Like, can it be fixed this season? Like, that's the easiest question there. Like, if Kenny gets it, is everything fine? If Canada goes, is everything fine? Like, can it be fixed?
I'll go for it. I think it can. I think there are a lot of like I said, when you can kind of chalk this up to yips or anything like that, I think the solutions are pretty obvious. Like it's, I think Matt Canada withstanding, because for as much as people don't like him and think he's kind of holding this team back, I think he is be very careful with my words here. He's capable of calling an offense that this team can win with, I think. And I think if Kenny's a little bit better, if they're able to run the ball, because I think a lot of the conversations this week have kind of absolved the offensive line of not being very good at all. I get it.
Yeah.
That's a tough front that they're facing against Cleveland, but Isaac Seumalo has not been the guy, been the guy that we expected, I think, or even been the guy that he was in the preseason. We talk about Kenny and other guys in the receiving corps not being who they were in the preseason. Isaac Seumalo is another one of those guys. I think they need a lot more from him. Mason Cole's got to be a lot better. There's a lot of people that this blame needs to be shifted on. But I'm kind of the belief that Matt Canada is capable of calling an offense that can win them games, even if it's not, win them games within the context of this team that has such a great defense and can lean on that too. Like they can be capable, I think that you don't need wholesale changes to make this team work.
Some knee-jerk reactions. Nick, you look like you might disagree there. By the way, the petition as we record this just surpassed 1,500 views. It is currently at 1,540. Original goal was 250 signatures. Yeah.
That's incredible. But yeah, I might sign that petition because let me tell you, when I look around the league and I have to watch all these innovative offenses like the Los Angeles Rams, what Sean McVay does with whoever is playing, like what is it, Tutu Atwell, Puka Nacua,
Yes. Who was a stud at the Senior Bowl. Very
yes.
Every time somebody brings that name up, I'm like, oh, we knew long ago.
Yes.
Stud.
Yeah, and those type of offenses, and then I look at what the Steelers are doing, and the only team equivalent to what they're doing is Luke Getsy with the Bears, and that's not good because Luke Getsy has guys running curls into the same exact spot right now.
Yeah.
And Justin Fields is also struggling just as much as Kenny Pickett is with just the small nuances of the position. Like he's just doesn't know what to think of this offense. And I think Pickett has a little bit of that going on. And maybe I'm just the one who wants to see it all blow up in Canada's face because I'm so tired of him getting away with it. Even last year, I don't think it was a product of Canada just being a better play caller. Mm-hmm. I thought it was just Kenny just being more comfortable. And now that he's not comfortable and they're playing teams who are really good, like the Browns, who have a really strong defensive front, and the 49ers, who are a Super Bowl contender, you come back to earth and you just realize, so maybe that Super Bowl expectation out of the preseason wasn't quite so realistic. Maybe, those moments where Kenny Pickett was throwing go balls on third down in the preseason wasn't a real good indicator that this was an offense that was going to work.
Yeah,
but
it's very true.
Yeah,
it's very true. The way I look at it right now currently is that I don't know if you could fix it. I think you could get to a point where you could rely on the defense enough but I don't think that wins you Super Bowls, especially against teams like the Buffalo Bills, who look really good.
Defenses can't win you Super Bowls?
Defenses win championships, but you got to be able to, like, you can't.
The run defense certainly isn't at that point where they can carry this team right now.
I'm not saying this is a Super Bowl, but I think you can. I think the idea that you can't lean on a defense to win a Super Bowl. Yeah.
Like you can't score 12 points. You know what I'm saying? Like defense will win you a championship. The rule of thumb I've always heard in the NFL is if you could score more than 20 points, you can expect to win. You know, that's not every game, but you should have the understanding that a good defense should be able to hold a team under 20 points. The Steelers have scored 20 points under Matt Canada 9 times. It's out of 38 games. That's as bad as it gets. And I don't think that they could do that right now. I don't know how you fix it. I kind of sit there with Matt Canada and go, I don't have an answer because I think you're the problem, but I also think that the offensive line is the problem, and they've ignored the offensive line for way too long. Like Isaac Seumalo, great addition. I think like a really good addition, but what did you like? You should have fixed Mason Cole. Because, I mean, I thought Mason Cole looked a lot better last season than he did this season. Dan Moore Jr., I thought looked way better in the preseason and way better in training camp than he has the last 2 weeks of the season. Chooks, you're kind of tied into, unfortunately, for this season. But you should have had options, and you didn't have options. You kind of just let it rock. Kenny, I'm very hit or miss on Kenny. I don't know how to feel about him right now. I think that he gets away with way too much in the eyes of fans because people are so hung up on wanting to fire Matt Canada that they are just blatantly ignoring that Kenny Pickett stinks right now.